Alrighty. Well, hello everybody. Welcome one and welcome all to the Junk Shop Library channel, home of Improv Bible Study, the Atheist Bible Study, where we read the King James Version of 1611, because it's the one in the public domain, verse by verse and chapter by chapter and yard by yard, and then rip at the new asshole it so desperately deserves, because it's an outdated, outmoded, misogynistic, ridiculous pile of garbage. If that sounds appealing to you, stick around, hit that thumbs up, consider subscribing. We're on a drive to get to 250 by the end of the month. Subscribers, that is. And we've got 2 more to go. Will you be number 249 or 250? All right. Well, before we get much further, I've got to say an extra special thank you to my patrons. These are the folks who have gone to the address you just saw at the bottom of the screen and pledged their monetary support to the channel for as little as $1 a month, or as much as, oh my goodness, what do you see in me, a month. These are the folks who keep us on the air, keep us improving, keep us running, keep us on the unlimited streaming version of StreamYard, which has allowed us recently to add the Book of Mormon study to our channel, Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. You see their names down there scrolling at the bottom. These fantabulous folks are appreciated one and appreciated all, and I literally could not be doing what I'm doing without you. Super extra special thanks go to the members of the top 2 tiers, folks who have really and truly gone above and beyond. My illuminated manuscript patron, Captain Kimothy, and my genuine calfskin patrons, Bill, and my original patron, Paul Camish, the one and the only. Thank y'all so very, very much. All righty. Well, let's see. Do we have anything much in the way of announcements? We've got, let's see, what do we got coming up? Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday, and we'll be having the mental health positivity hangout at the same time, 3 p.m. Eastern. We don't have a topic yet for this week, but I'll rack my poor little brain and see what I can come up with over the course of the next couple of days. Next couple of days, next few hours, because it's tomorrow. That's that rampant professionalism you've come to expect here in the library. Old Junk Shop has not yet had quite as much coffee as Old Junk Shop is prescribed. All right. We'll have another episode of Improv Bible Study on Friday, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, we've got a patrons-only stream, which will be at 12:30 Eastern. And then we've got the Book of Mormon at 5:30 Eastern. We got through the front matter last week, and we'll be diving into the actual text of the Book of Mormon proper this coming up Saturday. You won't want to miss that. That's going to be That's going to be an adventure. It's already one of the most popular videos here on the channel, last week's episode, and that was only just introduction and the front material. So this could be an interesting ride. And y'all watching live here on the 9th have the opportunity to get in on the ground floor. I see the chat populating. Thank you all so much for showing up. It's going so busy. I don't have time to call out everybody by name, but I want to thank you and know that I see you. I do have to call out my dear friend Brainbug, who created the intro that you saw right there as we kicked off from the opening screen. I love it. I love both drafts of it, and I don't use either one anywhere near often enough. Because StreamYard is cranky, and I sometimes forget I have to switch tabs. All right. Well, we are in the book of Isaiah in the Bible right now. We survived by the skin of our fucking teeth the wisdom literature, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and the Song of Solomon, of which my wonderful patron Aunt Jur made an absolutely filthy incarnation of, which is only visible over on Patreon. Gotta grind, y'all. Gotta hustle. You know how it is. All right, so where is my bookmark? There is my bookmark. I think that's all the announcements I've got. Oh, and the other patrons only stream is Saturdays at noon Eastern. And that's the one where we're working through, where'd I put it? So professional. So very professional. Organized, too. We're working our way through the Catechism of the Catholic Church on Sundays. And my goodness, y'all, they've got some weird stuff in here. Did you know that the Catholic Church believes in the power of cursed objects? I didn't either until I started wading through this monstrosity. Sundays at noon Eastern. All right. Well, as we continue to slog through the book of Isaiah, we turn today to the, y'all, excuse me one moment. Old Junk Shop got to be able to see through the reading glasses if Old Junk Shop's going to use them. We're doing the 23rd chapter for starters today. Let's see what the prophet has for us today. 23rd chapter. The burden of Tyre. If you hadn't been with us the last couple of episodes, Isaiah is essentially running off a list of everybody in the ancient Near East who's not Jerusalem or Judah, and is rattling off the great vengeance and furious anger that Jehovah is going to visit upon them in retribution for, as far as we can tell, not being Israel. And he's led into each one, at least in the King James, with the burden of Damascus, Egypt, Babylon, so forth and so on. The burden of Tyre. Howl, ye ships of Tarshish, for it is laid waste, so that there is no house, no entering in. From the land of Chittim it is revealed to them. Be still, ye inhabitants of the isle, thou whom the merchants of Zidon that pass over the sea have replenished. And by great waters the seed of Sihor, the harvest of the river, is her revenue, and she is a mart of nations. Be thou ashamed, O Zidon, for the sea hath spoken, even the strength of the sea, saying, I travail not, nor bring forth children, neither do I nourish up young men, nor bring up virgins. As at the report concerning Egypt, so shall they be sorely pained at the report of Tyre. Pass ye over to Tarshish. Howl, ye inhabitants of the isle. Is this your joyous city, whose antiquity is of ancient days? Her own feet shall carry her afar off to sojourn. Who hath taken this counsel against Tyre, the crowning city, whose merchants are princes, whose traffickers are the honorable of the earth? The Lord of hosts hath purposed it, to stain the pride of all glory, and to bring into contempt all the honorable of the earth. Pass through thy land as a river, O daughter of Tarshish. There is no more strength. He stretched out his hand over the sea. He shook the kingdoms. The Lord hath given a commandment against the merchant city, to destroy the strongholds thereof. And he said, Thou shalt no more rejoice, O thou oppressed virgin, daughter of Zidon. Arise, pass over to Chittim. There also shalt thou have no rest. Behold, the land of the Chaldeans. This people was not, till the Assyrian founded it for them that dwell in the wilderness. They set up the towers thereof. They raised up the palaces thereof, and he brought it to ruin. Howl, ye ships of Tarshish, for your strength is laid waste. And it shall come to pass in that day that Tyre shall be forgotten 70 years, according to the days of one king. After the end of 70 years shall Tyre sing as an harlot. Take an harp. Go about the city, thou harlot that hast been forgotten. Make sweet melody. Sing many songs, that thou mayest be remembered. And it shall come to pass, after the end of 70 years, that the Lord will visit Tyre, and she shall turn to her hire, and shall commit fornication with all the kingdoms of the world upon the face of the earth. And her merchandise and her hire shall be holiness to the Lord. It shall not be treasured nor laid up, for her merchandise shall be for them that dwell before the Lord, to eat sufficiently, and for durable clothing. And that's chapter 23. Not the strangest damn thing we've encountered, but don't miss it by much. You know what I forgot? I know what I forgot to do at the beginning of the stream and keep forgetting to do. This Bible study is not for children, nor for the weak of stomach or the easily offended. Just so as y'all know, before I launch into my improv commentary here in Improv Bible Study. Much like the original source material, I am fain to point out, it is not for the weak of stomach, not for children, not for the faint of heart. All right, so for Tyre, that's T-Y-R-E, just for the record. I see y'all in the chat. Tyre is going to get smoked. And they're going to be smoked so bad that they're forgotten about entirely. See what I did there? Wasn't that clever? I would like to take this opportunity to apologize. All right, so they're going to get so smoked that they're entirely fucking forgotten about for 70 years, the length of the reign of the average king. And then after 70 years, they're going to become a trading hub again. This is the second time somebody's going to get smoked and then later resurrected as a major trading power in the ancient Near East. So, they're going to get smoked, they're going to get forgot, And then they're going to get resurrected. But all of the stuff that they traffic in is going to get funneled over to Jerusalem. Some of y'all have heard me mention maybe once or twice before over the course of the half of this book that we've labored through for the last 2 fucking years. It will be. It'll be 2 fucking years come this time next month, believe it or not. You may have heard me mention once or twice that there are extensive sequences of this that seem to essentially boil down to give your shit to the priests. Why should you do this? Because God says so. How do you know that God says so? Because the priests are telling you so. And round and round and round we go. So here's another one. The great trading hub, Tarshish, on the Isle of Tyre, is going to be laid waste and forgot and then rebuilt as a funneling port to send all manner of shit back to the priests of Zion. I mean, to God. Cynical? I? Nay. And that's about it. A lot of talk about how bad they're going to get smoked, and a lot of talk about how great they're going to be once they're resurrected. Not much else going on in chapter 23. (24) 24. 24. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be, as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for the Lord hath spoken this word. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. They shall lift up their voice, they shall sing for the majesty of the Lord, they shall cry aloud from the sea. Wherefore, glorify ye the Lord in the fires, even the name of the Lord God of Israel in the isles of the sea. From the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteous. But I said, My leanness, my leanness, woe unto me! The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. Yea, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitants of the earth. And it shall come to pass that he that fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and him that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean. Got some kind of weird ink moment here. Clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together, as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before his ancients gloriously. All right, there is chapter 24. Everybody gonna get their ass smoked, and not in a fun way. So yeah, God's just gonna lose his fucking temper and smite every damn body, including the, what was that frightfully repetitive bit right there at the end? The highness in the high places. The host of the high ones that are on high. The host of the high ones that are on high. We got fucking Ronnie James Dio lyrics up in this bitch. Okay. And the only reason given, such as qualifies as a reason, is that they have not followed the Lord. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Should have followed the Lord. But they didn't. And as a result, the Lord's going to turn the earth upside down. Upside down, I say. The whole earth inverted. Damn shame, too. We're all going to fall off. Sad. I don't fucking know what I'm doing, y'all. This is just more of the enemies are going to be enemies, and the enemies are going to be suffering the wrath of the Almighty. At least this time, it's not going to be the children of Israel that are tasked with doing the smiting. God's just going to do it all by his damn self. Flipping things upside down and shit, making the earth shake. He's finally run out of his list of ancient Judean adversaries, and now he's just going in and going. And also everybody I forgot. Bad heathens, no. Serve Yahweh with fear and trembling. You better do it. I do love that though, that he's gone along, he's listed every major civilization all the way around him, and now he's just saying, yep, and everybody else too. God damn it. Even the host of the high ones that are on high. "25. O Lord, thou Lord. O Lord, thou art my God. I will exalt thee. I will praise thy name, for thou hast done wonderful things. Thy counsels of old are faithfulness and truth. For thou hast made of a city an heap, of a defensive city a ruin. The palace of strangers to be no city. It shall never be built. Therefore shall the strong people glorify thee. The city of the terrible nations shall fear thee. For thou hast been a strength to the poor, a strength to the needy in his distress, a refuge from the storm, a shadow from the heat, when the blast of the terrible ones is as a storm against the wall. Thou shalt bring down the noise of strangers as the heat in a dry place, even the heat with the shadow of a cloud. The branch of the terrible ones shall be brought low. And in this mountain shall the Lord of hosts make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wine on the lees, of fat things full of marrow, of wines on the lees well refined. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. He will swallow up death in victory, and the Lord God will wipe away tears from all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall he take from off all the earth, for the Lord hath spoken it. And it shall be said in that day, Lo, this is our God. We have waited for him, and he will save us. This is the Lord. We have waited for him. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation. For in this mountain shall the hand of the Lord rest, and Moab shall be trodden down under him, even as straw is trodden down from a dunghill. And he shall spread forth his hands in the midst of them, as he that swimmeth spreadeth forth his hands to swim. And he shall bring down their pride together with the spoils of their hands. And the fortress of the high fort of thy walls shall he bring down, lay low, and bring to the ground, even to the dust. And there we have chapter 25. Hey, y'all remember that last chapter? That last chapter where everybody got their ass smoked and the world got turned upside down and shit? You want to avoid that great vengeance and furious anger? Here's how. Suck up to God. Because apparently God cares about being worshipped again. Wasn't it just a handful of chapters ago? He said, it won't matter how many sacrifices you make. I'm still going to smite your ass. Okay, so praise the Lord, and maybe he'll make your eyesight better with a miracle so that you can see better to read his almighty word. Okay, well, not a lot to get your teeth into in that chapter. Just a song of praise of how great is God. And a little bit of, as G.E. says, a little bit of sucking that God dick. God requireth tribute and worship. God requireth a lot of worship. There's dominatrices in Berlin that don't require as much worship as Yahweh does. Junk Shop got jokes. Chapter 26. In that day shall this song be sung in the land of Judah, colon. We have a strong city. Salvation will God appoint for walls and bulwarks. Open ye the gates, that the righteous nation which keepeth the truth may enter in. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Trust ye in the Lord forever, for in the Lord Jehovah is everlasting strength. For he bringeth down them that dwell on high. The lofty city, he layeth it low. He layeth it low, even to the ground. He bringeth it down, even to the dust. The foot shall tread it down, even the feet of the poor and the steps of the needy. The way of the just is uprightness. Thou, most upright, dost weigh the path of the just. Yea, in the way of thy judgments, O Lord, have we waited for thee. The desire of our soul is to thy name, and to the remembrance of thee. With my soul I have desired thee in the night. Yea, with my spirit within me will I seek thee early. For when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. Let favor be shewed to the wicked, yet he will not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. Lord, when thy hand is lifted up, they will not see. But they shall see, and be ashamed for their envy at the people. Yea, the fire of thine enemies shall devour them. Lord, thou wilt ordain peace for us, for thou also hast wrought all our works in us. O Lord our God, other lords beside thee have had dominion over us, but by thee only will we make mention of thy name. They are dead, they shall not live. They are deceased, they shall not rise. Therefore hast thou visited and destroyed them, and made all their memory to perish. Thou hast increased the nation, O Lord. Thou hast increased the nation. Thou art glorified. Thou hast removed it far unto all the ends of the earth. Lord, in trouble have they visited thee. They poured out a prayer when thy chastening was upon them. Like as a woman with child that draweth near the time of her delivery, is in pain, and crieth out in her pangs, so have we been in thy sight, O Lord. We have been with child. We have been in pain. We have, as it were, brought forth wind. We have not wrought any deliverance in the earth, neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. Thy dead men shall live. Together with my dead body shall they arise. Awake and sing, ye that dwell in dust. For thy dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. And there we have chapter 26, an army of singing zombies. Yep. Oh, I've waited for this chapter, y'all. Oh, you just don't even know. I had no idea how much I needed this until it happened. I have never heard this passage before. Wrathful smiting and furious anger, and then an army of singing zombies. Zombies, I say. The earth shall cast forth her dead, and they shall arise and sing unto the Lord. What the hell is going on with this book? Last week we had Isaiah's magically non-sunburnt dick. This week we've got zombies that sing. That sing, I say. Singing zombies. All right, so I can think of two other armies of the walking undead in this book. There's the Valley of Dry Bones in Ezekiel, which doesn't count because that's a vision. And then there's the army of undead that march on Jerusalem in, is that Matthew? I think it's Matthew. Somebody's going to correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Yeah, not at all nightmare-inducing. Exactly. All right. For those of you who always wanted a project but didn't quite have anything you could get your teeth into, here you go. There's a rock opera waiting. We've got smiting, we've got baby killing, we've got genocide, we've got nations forgotten for 70 years and then becoming a great mercantile association again, only with the prescription that all of their shit is to be funneled into Jerusalem to be given to the priests. And then 2 chapters later, we've got an army of singing zombies. Isaiah, the musical. What in the name of God did I just read? We've got a prophecy prophesizing singing zombies. Okay, here's my thought, because I got to put on my apologetics hat real quick. Do I have a hat I could just slap on my head real quick and call it my Here we go. Ugliest fucking hat I've got, so we'll call it my apologetics hat. Ah, it's all beat up and shit. It's all right. It's 30 years old. All right. So, got on my apologetics hat. This is a prophecy of the army of the walking dead described in Matthew or wherever the fuck it was. Because if you remember, in Matthew, it's not just that the earth vomited forth her dead and they marched on Jerusalem and ate everybody's brains. No, they marched on Jerusalem and told the word of the Lord, which is, for no readily discernible reason, often described in the King James as singing. Singing the word of the Lord, what have you. And, sorry, that was special for Brainbug. You got to be here live if you want to interact with the chat. Aha! See how that works? Those of you watching after the fact. Okay, so that's my thought, is that were I wearing my apologetics hat, which in the moment I am, this is a foreseeing, a foreknowledge, a prophetic word for those of us down south. A prophetic word prefiguring the rising, the mass rising from the dead that occurred at the moment of Jesus' death in the Gospel of, I want to say Matthew. I really think it's Matthew. All right. Okay, so much for that. But I don't have my apologetics hat on because I don't believe in the apologetics. And we're nowhere near Matthew yet. So far away is Matthew, and Revelation yet further away still. Okay, moving right along. If you read it in that context, It makes sense why it's there. If you're just cold reading it out of blind fucking nowhere like we're doing, it makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. Singing zombie army. Out of nowhere. No readily discernible reason. Just whoop, hard left turn into singing zombie army territory. What the fuck is going on in this book, y'all? Because it's been a minute since we had anything fucking weird happen in this book. We've had Isaiah predicting that cities would fall. We've had Isaiah predicting that great mercantile associations would wax and wane. We've got Isaiah prophesying that there would be war. We've got Isaiah prophesying that people would come to and go from the Lord Jehovah periodically over the generations. None of this is remarkable. These things do indeed happen. They've been happening since people started forming cities, mercantile associations, and building cities and worshiping gods. Things wax and wane. So far, he ain't prophesied anything of interest. He's done it in some weird fucking ways, including stripping bare-ass fucking naked and wandering around the burning-ass desert TM for 3 goddamn years, and then saying it was a sign. But he hadn't prophesied anything batshit nuts until today. Today, we've got singing zombie army. Somebody tell me why. It's like, you know those movies where you can tell they switch directors midstream? Or where you can really, really tell that a sequence was made under the direction of the first assistant director or something, because there's just this grinding, dramatic, stylistic shift. If you've ever seen the movie from, God, what was it, 2005, 2006, Hitman with Timothy Olyphant? It's sort of loosely based on the intellectual property of the same name, the video game series. It's a really entertaining but pretty straightforward sort of high-grade PG-13, low end of R action wompity wannabe thriller. But about 2/3 in, there's this sequence where everything changes. Everything goes into this weird, oversaturated, blue-shifted, strange camera angle stuff, and it just completely throws you off. It yanks you right fucking out of it. I know, because I saw that movie 5 times in theaters. But every single time, it just yanks you right out of it. It's, what in the fuck is going on? Because it's so strange and so different, and it's the kind of stylistic approach where you would say, if we rolled into this way during the opening credits, I could roll with it. But what the fuck is it coming out of nowhere like this? Well, what happened was the assistant director on the movie was a French director named Olivier Megaton, or at least who works under the name Olivier Megaton. arguably, for my money, the best action movie director working today. But a man of unique vision, shall we say. Well, that's what that was, a long loop around down the forest trail and through the garden path. This is, Junk Shop putting the improv back in improv Bible study. So it's like we've gone from this sort of loose historical thing. It really does feel like two texts kind of mashed together, because you've got the very straightforward, very careful, like, we're going to tell the burden that will befall Egypt, and the burden that will befall Babylon, and the burden that will befall Tyre, and the burden that will befall Assyria. And there even seems to be some kind of order to it. It's not like a straight clock wise, but there does seem to be some kind of order to it. And I don't know enough about ancient Near Eastern trade routes to be able to know exactly what that order is, but it's got the sense of something ordered. Dr. Josh probably knows. Dr. Josh could have probably told us in about that fucking long. But you've got that. And then you sort of coming in from one side. And then you've got coming in from the other these huge, sweeping, broad generalizations. The whole world shall be overturned and God will reign. And we will all, the whole world shall sing the praises of God, and there will be singing zombie armies at the end of time. They don't feel like they go together, is what I'm getting at here. They feel smushed, interweaved, alien one to another. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. What am I missing? Was there a transition that I just somehow read right through? There was a chapter a little while ago where I read right over the attack of the lions and didn't even notice until I was doing comparative translation with the International Children's Version. Perfect for ages 7 through 12. Endorsed by James Dobson's Focus on the Family Ministries. God help us all. It's just coffee. All right. I feel like I missed something. I really do. An indicator of different authorship, a transition of time, a segue of some sort. But we did. We spent like 10 or 12 chapters or more talking about the devastation that's going to befall the enemies of Jerusalem. And, their high places thrown down, their children destroyed, not even sparing the fruit of the womb, and just a dash of misogyny here and there for good measure. And it was all very grounded insofar as prophecies of things going to happen in the reign of 3 kings from now is going to be grounded. But I don't know. Maybe this is written out of order. Or compiled out of order, rather. And I'm just totally fucking spitballing here. Maybe the organized prophecy should have come a few chapters ago. And then Isaiah took off all his clothes and went wandering about, perambulating through the burning-ass desert TM for 3 years. And then by the time he finally put on some clothes again and started prophesying again, he was all scrambled from the burning-ass desert TM heat. And all he's capable of coming up with is the world being flipped upside down and singing zombie armies and shit. I don't fucking know. It's the best theory I could come up with, the best hypothesis I could come up with off the top of my head. Army of singing zombies. You heard it here first, folks. There's armies of singing zombies in the Bible. Well, an army. One. Once. Okay, well, we've almost done the hour. We didn't get through very many chapters this time, but we've almost done the hour, and we're on an even number just now, and we can't end on an odd. I'm already drinking coffee. I don't dare drink coffee and end on an odd numbered chapter. That wouldn't do. Paul would come right out the bath and straight through the screen and slap me silly. We got jokes here on the channel. We got running inside jokes we do. Welcome, y'all. Oh, I would watch that movie. I'm going to pull that up on the screen. Isaiah versus the Song of Solomon. All right. Well, thank y'all so much for coming by. Welcome to the channel where you never know what you're going to get, and not just because old Junk Shop a little unpredictable. I'm sorry, I'm just completely fucking thrown off. I was just reading along the prophecy, minding my own goddamn business, and I got slapped upside the head readily and all of a sudden by the singing zombie army of doom, and I was not expecting that. No one expects the singing zombie army of doom. All right, well, if you want to see what the almighty fuck happens next, how Isaiah is going to try to top that shit, you can join us again on Friday, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern. How do we come back from here? You want to talk about jumping the shark, sweet Jesus. We're only halfway through this book, and we've already got a prophesied singing zombie army. What? Only halfway through. Hump days can be like that, you know. All right. Thank y'all so much for being here. I know I hadn't engaged with the chat like I usually do. I'm just not quite on the right train today, but thankfully I was a little off. Maybe the singing zombies will slap me back on track. Hey, stop it. Damn notifications. I gotta figure out how to turn these fucking things off. Okay, well, oh, yes, I knew I forgot to say something. Still trying to plug my 250 subscriber celebration stream. That's going to be on Saturday. No, I lie. It's going to be on Sunday, the 20th, also 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do a little blasphemy. We're going to eat a little communion bread. We're going to talk a little shit about Christianity. We're just going to generally hang out and have the same sort of good time that we normally do in the library. Might have some special guests. Who knows? You won't know if you miss it. Brain Bugs is on Saturday. That's right. That's right. All right. Well, I'm going to roll my outro here. I get to use the Smite version since we actually got a Smite today. We'd have to use the Smite version anyway, shouldn't we? Singing zombies and all. Well, as we always say before we roll out of here, everybody take care and be safe. Don't get bit by the opera zombies. And stand against hate. We'll see y'all again soon.